didn't realise that was a creepy sound until now.
Suddenly everything's a little creepier.
Yeah. Oh, it's a good job I transcribed all my notes, because I'll be able to read them now.
Oh yeah, great.
Oh, yeah.
Well, if you
Got
just
my
wrote
notes
them
as
all
well.
out, they'll be fresh in your mind.
Yeah. And they're not that they're any use.
No, mine neither. I took terrible notes.
Yeah.
Oh, anyway.
Tell us about the film you picked, Claire.
I picked a film called The Haunting, the 1963 version, because I have recently read the book by Shirley Jackson, and I thought it was an excellent book, and it was very different to most horror stories, and I was interested to see how they made it into a film, and so I thought I might suggest it because it might be quite interesting as a film to watch. And I'd be interested to know what people thought of it.
Cool.
Good.
That's the summary.
Fernando, what did you think of it?
What did I think of it?
You just watched it like 2 hours ago, right?
Yes.
Not even that. I would say about half an hour ago.
Nice.
45 minutes ago, maybe.
Yeah,
Yes. We're finished. I thought it was old.
Mm-hmm.
It was certainly old.
It was somehow still enjoyable though, or at least yes, there was a prelude and the story itself. So the prelude was a little bit old, maybe even older. So I was a little bit worried that the
They did that bit first.
But when they changed to the actual narrative, it got much better, so it was enjoyable. The effects were a little bit old as well.
Yeah.
And nothing much happened. So, as in, probably it might have been a little bit difficult being the actors in the movie because it was basically just them in the house.
Yeah.
And I wonder whether the sound effects were added afterwards, and if that was so, then it was particularly difficult being an actor, I suppose. Just being there.
Or having to pretend you're frightened of something that's you can't even hear. Yeah.
Also, what else did I think?
I'm not sure you didn't tell me as we were watching it.
Maybe you didn't think anything.
Do you want to check my notes?
Yes, please. I was laughing at some points, although I'm not
Laughing?
sure why. Yes, I'm not sure why.
We
I
had a
was
few
laughing.
laughs.
Yes,
You laughed when that woman fell down the stairs and died?
that is correct.
In the prelude.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Well, I just thought that nobody dies of just falling down the stairs. Maybe some people do.
I think some people
I think that's like one of the most common ways for people to die in
Well,
the
if
house,
you're extremely
right?
old, then maybe you
Yeah,
do.
okay.
But I have fallen off the stairs.
You're just
and
checking for ghost
I'm
spotting.
still alive.
You're still okay.
Sorry, I'm keeping an
Yes.
eye out.
That's good.
And yes, well, what was the old lady called? The one that they kicked out of the house.
The old lady.
Well, was she old or was she not
No,
old?
I don't think she was that old. Eleanor.
Eleanor,
The main
yes,
character.
of course, yes.
Yeah.
Eleanor.
Old lady. She was like my age.
She's like 40 at most.
Why was she the center of attention? Why was she?
Why is anyone the centre of attention in films?
I guess usually because they're somehow interesting. You
I suppose
want to
Eleanor
know
was
something about their
interesting.
character.
And what is the name of the other lady that wasn't old?
Theodora.
Theodora.
Who
And
I
why-
took to be the same age or older.
Really?
Yeah.
Why was the relationship between Theodora and Eleanor not developed further?
You're right. It's an
I
interesting question.
couldn't figure out their relationship. For the whole thing, I could never quite work out whether they were on good terms, whether they liked each other or didn't. They were, Theodora was so friendly towards Eleanor,
Well, Laura
but
does
also
have
so aggressive
a
sometimes.
hypothesis. Could you explain your hypothesis?
I did say I wonder if Theodora is perhaps gay, and attracted to Eleanor. I've now revised
Yeah.
my thoughts, and I would like to explore them more
Okay.
after our introductory.
I do not think
Did
that
we
she
like
was
it?
gay.
Didn't
I
we
thought
like
she was
it?
pansexual.
Perhaps she is pansexual, yes.
And,
I was using gay as an umbrella term.
Okay.
Michael, did you like the film?
I didn't like the film.
Really?
All things said, I didn't like it. I'm glad I watched it. I thought it was a good choice as well, because it's a film unlike films that we've watched so far. But I thought that the scary elements didn't scare me. I thought the characters were poorly written. The dialogue didn't ring true at all, and I didn't feel like any of it was believable. And by that I don't mean that I don't believe in ghosts. I mean the characters' reactions weren't believable. This is a thing like in if you're reading Harry Potter, you have to believe in like wizards and goblins and stuff. But that's still you have to have characters who act in a way that you can believe, and I didn't think the film gave me that. And it went on for too long, plodding through quite a bare bones story for me. That'd be my summary.
Yeah, I'm fairly middling about it. I do feel like it dragged a lot as a film. And maybe it sort of hinted at the stuff being like sort of in Eleanor's head. I feel like the book was a lot more focused on her, and I thought the way when they first started and they had her like internal monologue, I thought it was going to be a lot more about like her dealing with her insecurities and stuff, and they did bring that up, but I feel like I don't know, it felt lacking somehow in comparison to the book at least, and then for me it felt like it went on too long.
Was Eleanor diabolically possessed in the book?
No.
Oh.
Nor was she in the film.
Was she not in the
Do
film?
you
Oh, she
feel
might
that
have
she
been.
was?
Well, I thought that maybe she was being possessed.
I guess that's
I
possible.
thought she was being possessed.
Okay, interesting. Okay.
I don't know about the word diabolically, but I thought something in the house was getting to her, and I thought it became clear by the end that was a very real supernatural force that was compelling her to do things.
I think that if you're possessed, then you're diabolically possessed.
Okay.
Interesting statement.
Diabolical means the devil, right?
And the devil is the only one who can possess you, right?
I guess. Yeah, mate, was it the devil that was in the house? Was that what you felt?
Maybe, yes.
Yeah, okay.
Can I say I
Yeah.
thought the film was fantastic.
Okay.
I loved it.
Interesting.
I thought it was
Seriously.
I really from the beginning was like, yes.
Oh.
That's
What did you like about it?
I thought that mainly I thought it was just so well directed. Honestly, the camera work was
yeah.
fantastic, and I thought Eleanor was a very rich, complicated character. So was Theodora, I thought, and I was really interested in their relationship. I did say I went through the whole film with a completely different idea of what the story was going to be in my head, from
Right.
misremembering the book, I think, and having seen the 90s version of the film. So I went through the whole film thinking that, what was his name? What was the guy's name?
Marquis.
Marquis.
I call him
Marquis had
Marcus.
set
Call
up
me David.
Ishmael.
that he had set up this entire thing as a psychological experiment.
Mm.
So it completely affected my viewing of the film, thinking that something was going to reveal itself. And then, obviously, it turned out that we think that the supernatural element was real.
Yeah.
And I was just so interested from start to finish. And I thought it was very well shot and constructed. And I like that nothing happened, really. And it was
Right.
just watching these characters, this tension, but every scene was just so tense between the characters.
That's true. It was very tense.
Yeah, I quite like a film that's just about a handful of characters stuck in one place, slowly.
12 Angry Men.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I've not seen that.
Oh, you'd love it.
I was thinking of an Inspector called.
Okay. Yeah,
I was
this-
thinking of Clue.
Oh, what a thing. Yeah, interesting. So it sounds like a lot of the things I disliked about it were the things that you did like.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So what were your thoughts about Nell and Theo and the relationship between them?
I felt that Theo was trying to charm Eleanor
Okay.
in the beginning and trying to almost seduce her.
Right.
Well, it was trying to be very sensual. God, that word is
Oh
the worst
no,
word.
sensual again. Ring the sensual bell.
I've got to
Oh,
stop
God.
saying sensual.
Don't
Not
ever say
everything
that.
is sensual.
Ring the sensual bell.
Well, she was being very suggestive. Maybe that's what I should say.
Okay.
Very allude. Do you not think that? But
Sort of sexually.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Like, it's hard to describe it because it wasn't very verbal, their relationship. But she was being very. I thought she was being very suggestive.
Yeah.
But I think
what's
she was
the word?
trying to draw Eleanor in, because she sensed that Eleanor was perhaps quite vulnerable and could be manipulated a bit. Not that there was a meanness about it, but that's what I felt the relationship was. And Eleanor being so insecure and so vulnerable was drawn in, but knew that she was trying to draw her in. I think it's hard. I'm not really sure what my feelings are. This is why ideally there would be time between the viewing and, and this
Oh,
to
wow.
collect my thoughts, but never mind.
That's cool.
Yeah. What did you think?
So-
What did everyone think?
And I felt like at the start the relationship between Theodora and Eleanor was quite I feel like everyone was a threat to Eleanor at the start, and then when Theodora was like saying things like, "Oh, you've got new clothes," and you know, like sort of not reading her mind, but figuring out things about her, presumably based on body language. I thought it was supposed to make her seem threatening. I thought she was supposed to seem like she was maybe the bad thing, or the doctor was maybe the bad thing because he was being a bit, I don't know, just a bit creepy. And then Luke appears out of nowhere while they're just sitting around chatting. It's like, oh, who are all these people? What's he? Where did he come from? Is he part of the house? What? So I kind of felt like bits of it. I don't know. I felt like at the start, I felt like I felt like I was with Eleanor all the times. I think because it was from her point of view and stuff, and therefore I felt like all the other characters were a threat to her and to
Interesting.
me.
Okay.
Oh, I didn't see it like that. I thought it as particularly Theodora and Markway were very magnetic. So I was with Eleanor, but I was feeling her being drawn towards these two.
Interesting.
Luke very much could have been cut from this film for me because
Very
he
much.
was so. You know the crow in The Secret of Nim? That was Luke. Just so flat, so annoying.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah,
talked
he didn't
about
do a lot for me.
money or sex the entire film. Every line he had was like, I could sell this. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, don't damage it. Cost some money.
I guess in a way it made sense having a skeptic there, someone who was not at all interested in this whole ghost thing. But yeah, altogether I could have done without him.
A different skeptic.
Yeah,
would
he could have been
good.
different.
Yeah, but he was just a shit.
And that was one of my notes, was just Luke as a dick.
Yeah.
It's like there's just no context. All there was.
It would have been so much better if he'd been played by Owen Wilson. As indeed he is.
Oh my
In the
god.
90s version.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh no.
Oh, it works so well.
So who does Ben Stiller play?
Ben Stiller? Do you mean Liam Neeson?
Isn't
Ben
Ben
Stiller-
Stiller in all of the films with Owen
Oh,
Wilson?
yeah.
Often, yeah. Liam Neeson
Yeah.
is in the new one.
Nice.
Catherine
Yeah.
Zeta-Jones,
Yep.
I think.
Yeah.
Is she Theo?
Yeah.
Yeesh.
She plays a very good Theo, actually.
Who plays Eleanor?
Okay.
I don't know. Some woman.
Some woman.
Hmm.
Cool.
It's a very different film.
Hmm.
So you two have both read the book?
Yeah.
Yeah, and Claire.
Yeah.
But Fernando, you haven't read the book?
I have not read the book.
Neither have I.
It's a good book. From what I remember.
I
I
think
guess
the
I
book's
know what
scarier.
happens now, but
A bit more
there's,
chilling.
there's something. maybe it was something to do with the very old special effects, or just something to do with the way people scare that just didn't strike me as particularly scary in the film. But maybe in the book that would be a little different. I wish it had turned out all to be an experiment or something. I wish there'd been some explanation for all of this. It's not just, oh yeah, it's because there are some ghosts and the ghosts do spooky things, and
it's not the ghost.
That's the end.
It's the house.
It's the house.
The house is deranged.
But
that's what they said at some point, which I find very exciting.
Really,
the thought of a deranged house.
Deranged house. But they mean some kind of spirit inside the house. Right?
Well, they did talk about that at times. But I was getting the sense that it was the house itself. They kept saying the house is evil.
Yeah, okay.
Not that even something was lingering in the house. It was the house itself was rotten from the beginning.
Yeah, that was an interesting
which I thought was quite novel. You don't often get a haunted house where it's the house.
Yeah, I suppose. But in the end it didn't... what did it mean that it was the house? And it sort of made some banging noises, and that was about it, and drove the woman mad.
Well, I feel like that's... so for me, that's the real, point, is, what was it about? What was the house actually doing? Was there anything supernatural about what happened? Or was it just that she was really vulnerable and susceptible to believing that? That banging noise could have been a back door swinging open and shut.
Yeah.
And if you convince yourself it's coming towards your door, you imagine it, and then, because the door's swinging open, the house shakes a little bit and the door handle rattles a little bit, so you think it's the demon coming in or something.
Yeah.
It was all explicable for me. I don't think there was any point.
What about the door swelling at the end?
Oh, that was just psychosis, wasn't it?
Oh, wow.
I'd forgotten about that.
Because that was the point
and the
where
chalk on the wall.
And the chalk on the wall.
That could have been anyone, though.
Could have been one of them, couldn't it? And that for me would have been a lot more interesting if it really had been possible that there's just nothing. But I don't know. So some of the stuff, why would the door handle be slightly turning? I could just about... the door handle turn like that? Maybe you're right. But then that was the bit that did it for me, was this door swelling up and them all seeing it, and the guy going, "Hey Doc, I'll sell you this house real cheap." And that was the point where I thought, oh right, so it's just a haunted house. I thought it'd be really interesting if it was, if there was some question left at the end, like in The Exorcism of Emily Rose, which you and I watched together, Claire. Did you two see that?
I think I have seen it, but I think I stopped because it was too frightening.
Yeah, okay. Seriously scary film, but the question all the way through is it possible that this is really a demonic possession, or is it just whatever it was, epilepsy? And we never... You never quite find that out, and I found that so much more interesting.
I'm going to say that we should just disregard the door bending.
Okay. Yeah, can we pretend the film happened without that?
Yeah, because I think it could still be very ambiguous without that. And I'm sure there is a way that we can explain the door bending. Maybe heat and sudden coldness caused the door to...
If the door was made of rubber, maybe...
maybe it was.
Maybe it was.
Did the other characters see the door bending? I can't remember now.
Yeah, they all remarked hilariously on it.
Did they?
Yeah, the guy said, "Hey, Doc, I'll sell you this house real cheap."
Maybe he was just trying to sell a house.
Finally convinced.
Well, don't think...
but no, I think that's a good thought experiment. Ignore that scene, pretend that bit didn't happen. And then...
I think that's what I had done in my head, was just block that scene out.
Yeah, okay. And then, fair enough, that's more interesting. So who wrote on the walls?
Could have been any of them, because they were all a threat to Eleanor.
Could have been any of them. Could even have been Eleanor.
I bet it was
going
Mrs.
crazy.
Dudley. Jesus.
Oh, Mrs.
It was
Dudley.
so her.
We needed
She
more
was
of her.
weird.
She was so frightening.
She
Yeah,
was a good scary.
she was a good scary
woman.
character. I like how she was just shouting the breakfast times when they were all having their panic.
Yeah.
She would continue to shout those times if they were all dead in the dining room.
Well, that's what got me, and I wondered if she was going to turn out to be a ghost or something because she repeated the exact same phrase. We heard her say the exact same things twice, as if she was just stuck in a loop somehow.
I like that. I feel like she was getting anxious that she couldn't say it to Theo because they were having their conversation, and then Eleanor was like, "But remember to say, no one can hear you scream in the dark." And then she turns around and she's like, "Yes, no one can help you from China. Thank you, Eleanor, for letting me finish my script."
I've set dinner on the...
Thank heaven somebody's here. Oh, my name's Eleanor Lance. I'm so glad you're here.
I'm Theodora, just Theodora. What about this crazy house?
I'm right next door. We have a connecting bath.
This one used to be the embalming room, I bet.
It was terrible being here alone.
I've set dinner on the dining room sideboard.
Where's
Markway? I thought he'd have been here before anyone else.
You serve yourselves. I clear up in the morning.
Have you known Dr. Markway long?
I have breakfast ready at 9.
No, I've never met him.
I don't stay after 6, not after it begins to get dark.
My only contact with him has been our correspondence about the, quote, experiment, unquote.
I leave before the dark comes, so there won't be anyone around if you need help.
No one can hear you if you scream in the night. Isn't that so, Mrs. Dudley?
No one lives any nearer than town. No one will come any nearer than that. In the night. In the dark.
That was nice.
Yeah.
Maybe it wasn't such a bad film. I think it was just the weird writing and just stuff that I couldn't really see the characters actually doing.
What sort of thing?
So they see they hear the door banging. They both stare at the door, and neither of them think to like shout for the two blokes or anything like that. And they don't go back into the other room that's adjoining their room, and they just sit there and look wide-eyed for the camera.
You can be paralysed by fear.
I thought that was very believable. That's exactly what I would have done.
Yeah. And they thought it was coming for them as well, so they didn't want to scream. Yeah, I don't, like, as I say, I'm not entirely convinced that I'm on the fence with the film in terms of whether I enjoyed it or not.
Oh, I thought it was fantastic that no one really screamed. They did scream a couple of times, but there was mostly the moments where you just saw them building up to a scream that just got swallowed because of fear.
Yeah, that's something.
Yeah.
Yeah, Theo and Nell I thought was getting interesting, but I realised after a while it was just... I was sort of thinking, oh, this is interesting and an unpredictable relationship. What are they going to say next? I realised it was unpredictable because it was just sort of badly written. I thought they just... unless I'm just being dim and everything they said did make some sense, but they seemed to fly off the handle at each other in 1 second and be best friends the other second. And I was thinking, oh, that's interesting, these weird mood swings. But then I realised it's you could just write random words for them and say it's violent mood swings.
I disagree again. I think that their relationship made sense to me with their characters.
Okay.
The way that I think Theo was a very cool person. No, I don't mean cool like cool, but she was very collected all the time.
Yeah.
And she was pushing Eleanor's buttons all the time.
And why was she doing that?
I
Why
think that
she
was
trying
just
to wind
her.
up?
I don't.
And then at other times trying to comfort her.
I think it got towards the stage where she realised that Eleanor was having a genuine mental breakdown, and then became more empathetic and sweet about it. But I think we can just say that Theo's a complicated woman who enjoys
She
teasing
certainly was.
people and pushing people to the edge.
I guess so.
And I didn't need any more than that to know about her.
And it seemed weird after they'd shared that terrifying experience on the first night after that she was still so cold with Nell the next day, and making fun of her and stuff. It just didn't seem...
Maybe she was in love with her.
So I have to say, I was thinking about that a lot. I wonder if we were supposed to think about that.
Oh, I think we were.
You think we were?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
I think Theo was coded as sapphic. Do you know that word?
No, I don't know that word.
It means women who are attracted to women.
Okay.
Sapphic?
Sapphic.
It's Greek. Is that not the island Sapphic?
Yeah, someone.
And when you say coded, what exactly do you
I mean, like in the 60s, they're never going to come out and be like, this is our lesbian character.
Okay.
I mean, like, we were given hints that made us think that she might be, without it being explicit. I mean,
Well,
it was
okay.
implicit.
It suggests a partner, doesn't it? But it doesn't tell you anything about the partner.
It suggests a partner.
'Cause
Remember when
she says
Theo-
we?
Yeah, we have this house.
Yeah.
And then Nell becomes really uncomfortable after she's asked her if she's married.
Yeah.
Maybe that she didn't mean a woman, but later on when they're having another big argument, Nell says, "You're an abomination" or something, doesn't she? They have a big argument.
You're the
and
monster of Hill
You're the
House.
well.
She thinks she's being funny.
Tell me, Dr. Markway, are you fond of stone lions, the kind you keep on the mantel?
Shut up, Theo.
Do you long for a tiny home, something smaller than Hill House? There's room for two, isn't there, Nell?
You're a monster, Theo. You're the monster of Hill House.
I think that was at a different bit actually.
Oh,
Remember
sorry.
when they're on the veranda?
Mm.
And Nell, Theo tries to pull Nell back inside, and maybe that is when she says she's the monster. But she says something like you're an abomination, and then Theo's
Meaning?
like, I don't know what you mean.
Right.
And Nell's like, now who's acting innocent? You know exactly what I mean.
You poor, stupid innocent.
I'd rather be innocent than like you. Meaning what? Now who's being stupid and innocent? You know perfectly well what I mean.
Is this another of your crazy hallucinations?
I'm not crazy.
Crazy as a loon. You really expect me to believe you're sane and the rest of the world is mad?
Well, why not? The world is full of inconsistencies. Unnatural things. Nature's mistakes, they're called. You, for instance.
And I feel like that was, I interpreted that as she was hinting about something. Maybe it was that she was just living with someone without being married. And maybe it had nothing to do with that whatsoever.
Okay.
But I was already picking up the kind of
Yeah, once you're looking for
suggestiveness
it.
of Theo's character.
Okay.
Of being so flirty at times with Nell.
Yeah, okay. Interesting. Because I agree that there was a lot of interesting sort of flirtation and something like that. But I was putting it down to maybe people just acted like that in the early '60s, and like
They're all on acid.
think of the number of times like you're reading Shakespeare and it says that the two guys kiss and everyone goes, ha ha ha, they're gay, and actually it's just like
What, in the play.
no, like it's just the way that people acted in those days, and we're not meant to read anything into it. So I didn't know if maybe women in the '60s all like hugged each other a lot and talked about each other's like beauty or whatever. But no, I'm glad you thought of something there as well. I'm more convinced.
Good. Yeah. What about Flirty McFlirterson? Sorry, I don't know.
Which one's Flirty McFlirterson?
Mark. Why can't I remember his name? Markway.
It's spelt Marquis, if
Oh,
that
is it?
helps.
Oh, maybe that is why I'm getting. Well, no, maybe I'll remember that.
Him. He was odd.
Yeah.
Didn't quite know what he was thinking either.
Again, I thought he was trying to seduce Eleanor for reasons that were unclear, that would become clear about it being an experiment.
Yeah.
And he was trying to like just provoke her again and make her and manipulate her, which made sense because he was flirting with her a bit. I think when he kept saying,
I'm trying
"Yes,
to
you
remember
look like
now.
this statue," and I would call the statue a natural beauty.
Yeah.
Oh
And
yeah,
just
yeah.
like saying, "Oh, you're so soft and sweet, and everyone loves you," and just I felt that there was something between them.
Yeah.
But
Was
I
he
have
just
no
trying
idea
to
what
put her
that
at
was
her
about. I
ease?
don't-
Or?
Yeah, probably. Who knows?
Hmm.
What did you think, Fernando?
I did not think that he was flirting with her.
She was quite upset when she found out he was married, right?
Oh, she was definitely
She
in love
became
with him.
obsessed with him very quickly.
Yeah.
And I think it's because he was paying her attention.
Yeah, okay.
But you don't think he was...
No.
Was he just being friendly?
Yes. It was love that was not reciprocated.
Oh.
Also, did he ever take any instruments to measure any kind of nothing? As in something scientifically, because his studies were meant to be some kind of scientific.
No.
Actually, they were anthropological.
Oh, anthropological.
Oh, yeah.
We don't need any equipment whatsoever.
I just have the
He had a
questionnaires.
notebook.
Yeah, that's all we need.
My favourite bit was when he said, oh yeah, you can feel how cold it is in this spot, and I guarantee it won't show up on any thermometer. And then he didn't even try. Like, I don't need instruments. It feels cold, but let's say it doesn't show up.
That is so anthropology. Yeah.
I enjoyed watching a film about anthropology. Would you say it reflected your experience?
Yeah, completely. We love trapping people in haunted houses, and for no particular reason whatsoever.
Yeah. Is that what you're doing here? Is that why we're meeting
Yeah.
in a dark room
Don't
in
you
the
feel
school?
this cold spot?
Oh my god, I do.
No, he was cold spot.
Yeah.
That's the window.
Oh, yeah. Why is the window so cold?
There's a light coming in from the street.
That was the window she fell out of.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah. Probably not representative of anthropology. If I have one criticism of the film,
Oh my god.
it was that, well, at least he was a very bad anthropologist.
Wait, I think there's someone walking.
Is it
Oh, you're
Dr.
right.
Marquis?
It looks like it might be Dr. Marquis.
Is this place haunted?
Are the ghost of
That's
Dr.
what they
Marquis?
say.
When was this place built?
I imagine it was built in 1400.
Oh, was this part of the original?
Yeah, it was the original. Yeah.
Shit.
Can you tell? That's good, solid.
Oh, that's high quality MDF, yeah. That's lasted
Yeah.
the years.
Look at those folders right there.
Oh yeah.
When are they from? I'd like to know. Well, let's not look inside because we obviously don't need to verify anything that I'm saying.
They're probably from ages ago.
We'll leave it at that.
That is
It's
Yeah.
amazing the
creepy in
kind
here.
of ring binders they had in the 1400s, just like today.
They were so ahead of their time. Also, did not realise that door was mechanical and thought it was genuinely opening and shutting unprompted.
What, downstairs?
Yeah. I was properly scared by that.
And I had noticed it was mechanical and such to make a joke. I was like, oh my god, Claire, look! Didn't realise you were actually a little concerned.
Well, it's like that time we watched the thing with the CCTV cameras in the house and there's a demon coming to get Hunter or something like that.
Oh, yeah, the, what was that called? Paranormal Activity.
Yeah.
That's a scary film.
Oh god, that's so frightening, isn't it? My sister says it's not frightening at all, but I'm like,
Oh,
I
your
could
sister.
hardly watch it.
Your sister has a heart of steel.
She does watch horror films by herself a lot of the
Okay.
times, in the dark, alone.
We were
Yeah,
staying
okay.
at Michael's mum's when we were watching that, and then we'd gone to sleep, and Michael's door in his bedroom at home doesn't quite, if you don't shut it properly, doesn't quite catch. And Michael had fallen asleep sort of half an hour after we'd gone to bed, and then the door just swung open really slowly, and I couldn't get out of bed in case the demon got me. I had to wake Michael to go and shut it.
Amazing that just sometimes doesn't catch, one time in 1,000 maybe, and it happened to be that night.
So I was willing to sacrifice you to the demon.
Oh, yeah.
I just
Well, the thing is, it maybe did catch, but then something opened.
don't no.
That must be it.
Don't say things like that.
I ever tell you about the witches behind my house? This is a bit of a tangent, but this is a good one. I was 17, and it was the summer before I went to university, and it was a hot night, so I had the window open, and I was just lying in bed, hadn't quite got to sleep yet, and I heard this singing from out the back, and it got louder and louder. There must have been a group of people, but it was mainly just one female voice singing in a language I couldn't quite make out.
Maybe it was
But
tongues.
it just got louder and louder
Was it
until I could
Spanish?
almost feel it like it was singing in the room, and then it just stopped all at once, and I didn't hear anything else after
Oh
that.
my goodness.
And there's a bit of like there's some footpaths and stuff out the back where people, I guess, must have been, but I've no idea what that was, and I will
Must
never
have
know.
been a witch.
Wow.
Yeah, I think that's the only explanation.
That's very spooky.
Mm.
Very spooky indeed. One time I got
Oh
home.
my god, the bells. Yeah.
Bells.
The bells, the bells.
One time I got home and I was very, very, very drunk,
Mm-hmm.
and I stumbled up the stairs, and I managed to get all my clothes off, and I got into bed, and I woke up in full pajamas. Who put these pajamas on me? Was it you, Ghost? Thank you.
Brilliant.
Do you think maybe if you hadn't got all your clothes off, you'd have woken up with your pyjamas over your clothes? Oh, and then said I should have my pyjamas on.
I went to bed drunk once.
You're right, Fernando.
In the first year, and I when I got up in the morning, my toothbrush was on the side, it had been used, so I guess I must have brushed my teeth before I went to bed. But next to it, there was a sheep's tooth.
What?
And so I have this sheep's tooth. I keep it used to keep it in like a little bag. Like I think we must have found it when we were on holiday when I was a kid or something. But it would have been like in a drawstring bag in a drawer in my desk. And for some reason in the night, I'd gone into that desk drawer, into that bag, taken out the sheep's tooth and put it next to my toothbrush.
Did you try brushing the sheep's tooth?
Maybe. There was no sign of me having done so, but
Did it not smell minty?
I didn't smell it. What the hell that was, I have no idea. You ever had anything scary happen to you, Fernando?
Yes, when I was living in John Burnett Hall Annex, I precisely went to watch Paranormal Activity.
Yeah.
And when I went back to my room, I just heard someone knocking on my headbed. And there was there's nothing behind my head. Well, there was the bathroom because it was an ensuite room. So we just kept knocking, and I was like, okay, maybe it will go away. But it didn't. So I looked back, and then nothing happens, and the noise wasn't there. So I was like, oh, it was okay, so maybe the noise just went away. So I continued lying on my bed until it started again.
Oh!
This must be a
Oh
paranormal
my goodness.
activity.
It's definitely not normal activity.
It was definitely
Para.
preternatural,
That is-
yes.
Well beyond normal activity. That's a good one. I like that one.
Better than my pajama story. That was real ghost.
Your story is a different genre.
I didn't put the pajamas on.
It's a
Something dressed me.
good one. Were they your pyjamas?
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
If they weren't
yeah, I
your
suppose
pyjamas, that would be
weirder.
super weird.
I don't know, I've just got the paranormal activity story. I don't think I've really got any actual scary stories.
What do you mean?
The one where the door opens.
Oh yeah,
Because the demon was coming to steal me.
And when
Yeah.
I moved to Deanscourt, there was no one living in the main building because it was being refurbished, and for some reason I was let in. So literally there was no one living in the
Oh
main
my
building. It was
God.
just me. However, I just one night I went out, and the room next to me had the light permanently turned on. Like, is someone living there? Maybe I should just knock and say, maybe just someone just moved in. I knocked, nobody answered. I knocked again a little bit harder, and nobody answered. And yes, the light was on for some reason. It was a ghost. Must have been a ghost.
And there's someone telling this story right this second, saying like, yeah, I was the only one living in Dean's Court, and one night I heard a knocking at my door, and I froze in terror, knowing no one else was there, and they knocked louder. After 10 minutes, I opened the door, and it was just an empty corridor.
Yes. In a different universe, of course.
Yeah. In a different universe where it wasn't actually a ghost.
Yeah. I'd like to stick by my first assertion that there weren't any ghosts, at least none confirmed, and that we just watched the slow disintegration of Eleanor's mind as she became wrapped up in her own story of how the house wanted her, and slowly went mad herself.
Because she wanted someone to want her.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, you just have to take out that door swelling, don't you? If you do that, everything else...
I think I'm going to go with the psychosis explanation.
No,
it was because there are instances of that happening where people are convinced that in a group that they saw something paranormal.
Yeah.
But it's just a sort of
shared delusion.
Like so much tension is building and building and building. Like, I think that's in factories in Malaysia. There's instances where they think that they're being possessed, and the women are absolutely certain that they are possessed. I can't remember what else is about. It's probably not even Malaysia. I'm probably remembering that wrong. I'm as bad an anthropologist as Marquis. But that the people are reading into it as that it's their response to the imposition of capitalism on them. The fact that they're having to work these extremely long hours, extremely hard conditions. That it's manifesting in this kind of shared experience of possession.
That they all feel like they're possessed.
They're turns of possession amongst the women, but they're all convinced that they are being possessed, and that the women who are possessed are sure. Well, at least according to this study.
Yeah, I suppose that would, like, it just takes the first few people to like identify it as that, and then everyone recognises the same symptoms.
Yeah,
you know, they're tired and stuff, but suddenly you think that's a demon, and it just becomes this.
Yeah.
Very plausible explanation. I reckon that could have been what was going on with that door, just where, like, cause Eleanor's slowly disintegrating as our minds just go, and Theo's quite open to ESP and stuff, and the doctor's looking for supernatural phenomenon. So the fact that she's like maybe overreacting to some banging noises, and her sleep hallucinates that someone's holding her hand. You know, just that build up of stories and stuff could be that, you know, if the door did swell a little bit, as a collective, they all read too much into it because they've just been convinced that something's up.
Yeah, none of them actually they say nothing about the door swelling. We're really keen to explain away this door.
I know,
but none of them talk. Like, we have the comment from Luke about how he's going to sell the house, but and maybe he thinks he saw the door swell. We don't know that the doctor did, or that Eleanor did, or that Theo did.
Yeah, they just said, "Oh my god, do you see that?" And they each worked out something that they convinced themselves that they saw. Right?
Yeah, maybe they all saw different things.
Yeah, who knows?
Because I assume we only see Eleanor's perspective throughout the film.
I think so. Well. Yeah, possibly.
Definitely not quite, but yeah, most of the time.
But what happened to the wife?
The wife was fine.
No, the wife was not fine. She was possessed.
She wasn't possessed. She got frightened and went into the attic and got lost.
She turned up after the car had crashed and said, "Oh yeah, don't worry guys, I'm fine."
She was not possessed?
I don't think so. Well, you could read it as that if you want to believe in the supernatural aspects of the story.
Until we started talking, I figured she was possessed, because why else would she go marching up into the attic and get all weird and stuff? But yeah, there's certainly a reasonable explanation for that if you want one.
They say at the beginning the house is extremely hard to navigate. It's very easy to get lost because it's so
And all the doors closing.
All the doors keep closing. It's hard to find your way around.
Yeah.
She somehow ended up in the attic. I think that's very believable.
I'll just go up this ladder.
She was half asleep. Yeah. Climb this extremely rickety spiral staircase.
These pyjamas on me.
This is a better film than I gave it credit for. I think this is a good example of why I'm glad we have this film club, because this is a solid example of me disliking a film, and I thought we were going to turn up here and have a really short conversation where we say, yeah, it was a bit rubbish, wasn't it? Oh well, I guess people weren't very good at making horror films back then, and then just all went home, and I can now see so much more that I like in this film now that we've talked about it.
That's good. How about you, Fernando?
I still like it as much. I still like it as much as I was liking it before. I'm enjoying the conversation, of course. I did not hate it.
Okay.
I just thought
Me neither.
it was a little bit old.
Yeah, I really struggle with old films.
You do. I was surprised you chose one.
Yeah. I don't know, I just find them really boring. I feel like people were, I don't know, expected something else from their entertainment, and they had
I'm sure
longer
yeah.
concentration
Really
span
definitely
and
did.
stuff.
Yeah, so I love a lot of old films, but I think this is a very good example of what you're saying there.
Yeah.
That some of the scenes went on for ages and had really bizarre choices of dialogue and that kind of thing. The easy targeted special effects, of course, and I didn't think this film had particularly bad special effects. I thought they did quite a good job with what they had.
They had excellent wobbly cameras and like turny cameras and stuff.
Yeah, I thought the effects were really good.
And it must have been a very short decision, because around about that time I guess you'd have to choose, are we going to shoot this in black and white or colour? And someone must have been like, definitely black and white, this is such a black and white film, it's going to be perfect. So moody and dark for the whole thing.
Oh, yeah, colour would have ruined it.
Yeah.
Maybe just if Theodora had been in colour.
She's wearing red or something.
Yeah, in my head she's very bright.
Yeah.
She's very vibrant as a person.
She was a vibrant person. But yeah, black and white was the right choice, I think. What lovely chiaroscuro.
Pardon?
Sorry?
Is that the combination of red and blue?
No.
Oh.
But good try. Is it not the contrast of black and white and shadow?
Dark.
Yeah.
I think
It's
so.
a film. I'm not even sure I pronounced that right, but it's a thing I vaguely remember from
Can you
film
say it
studies.
again?
Chiaroscuro. Chiaroscuro? Let me just give it a quick
Yeah, go for it.
quick Google there.
Nice.
I don't really know what it is, but I feel like it applies in this film.
So
Here we
I have a question. Oh, sorry, have you got
Oh,
an
sorry,
answer?
yeah, I've got it here. It's the strong contrast between light and dark, usually bold contrasts affecting a whole composition.
Nice. And how's it spelled?
Chiaroscuro.
Nice.
C-U-R-O, maybe?
What?
How's it spelled?
Oh, right, sorry. Do you want to guess?
Like Chiara and then Scuro.
Chiaroscuro.
Is there a space in there somewhere?
No. Oh,
All
one
one
word.
word. Chiaroscuro.
A chiaroscuro.
Does that mean Claire
Brilliant.
in Italian?
Sorry.
I think that means Claire in Italian, is it not?
Chiara.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Claire
There you
Scuro.
I think scuro means young, doesn't it?
Oh, Claire Young.
Oh, I see.
What the hell?
Oh my god!
This is my friend Moody Lighting.
Oh my god. If I was a session musician, I'd be called Moody Lighting. So, my question was, do you know how the old woman in the house died because the paid companion
was kissing someone on the veranda. Someone was kissing her on the veranda. Am I right?
My
Metaphor.
my top hat nearly fell off. I was so shocked by that.
When do you think this film was made?
Well, apparently back then. I suppose even that was supposed to have happened like many years
Yeah, that's
before
true.
the film was set, right?
Yeah, like 1870 or something.
Yeah, okay.
So really, she shouldn't have been kissing anyone on the veranda.
No, certainly not.
Shouldn't have been a boy in the house, that's for sure.
Although no, she was waiting on the old lady, wasn't she?
Yeah.
Who was like 80 and had come to the house when she was 10 or so.
Oh,
So
yeah,
that would
so
have
maybe it
been
wasn't that
many
long
years
ago.
afterwards, and the house was only 90 years old, so
Yeah.
that must have happened in the 1930s or something. So that's still a bit scandalous. Even the film, this was 63, right? It's like, I think a lot of things happened in the following 5 or 6 years to do with people's attitude to sex and relationships.
Yeah,
right?
that was the start of the...
This
Big
film, in fact, started the
I think it
sexual
was this
revolution.
film.
Yeah.
It was just that suggestion that Theo might be gay
Yeah.
was what started it all.
Women up and down the country were turning up to their hairdresser saying, "Give me a Theo."
Sorry, what
So
were you
my
saying
point.
about the- What's your question?
Right, so the parallel between that story and Eleanor's story is,
I didn't even.
I
pick
feel
up on
like
that.
we have to address that.
Yeah, yeah.
And whether Eleanor really did hear her mum knocking and chose to ignore it, or sort of transplant that story into her memory so that she could feel bad. Because it would be a massive coincidence if that was the case. And also, like, if your sick mum is banging on the wall for medication that she needs to stay alive, obviously she's going to die if you don't take her it. Like, the idea that she felt like, oh, it was just this one time I didn't take her the medication she needs to live. Well, that's just stupid. That you can't possibly be in that situation. So I suspect that maybe she just looked after her mum the best she could, and then her mum died and she felt guilty that she was dead, and sort of used that as something to enhance the guilt.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
she
If
was
she can
probably
believe
like-
all these things, then
Yeah.
surely she can believe that she heard this knocking.
Yeah. But I don't know.
I don't know either.
That's just my interpretation.
I
of it.
feel like I could easily see Eleanor's character reaching a breaking point with looking after her mum, and just
That's
one
true.
day, randomly one day, decides to go back to sleep. Not even decides, just doesn't take the medicine.
Yeah.
So, but I don't know. It's left very open, as with much in the film, as we've decided.
left open. Yeah. God, maybe it was a good film. Well, it had the
I think what
makings
we
of a
should
good
do
film.
Is watch the 1990s version.
No, I think we should watch the
Comparing
old version
contrast.
again.
Well,
Because
yeah.
I'm starting to enjoy it more now that we've been talking.
Maybe we should make our own version.
Tonight.
2 guys, 2 women. We can.
Bye, Theo.
Oh no! Oh, I'm so
I
Eleanor.
wanted to be Theo.
Oh, you could be Theo. I'll be the wife.
No, I really, really want to be the Doctor.
Right, I'll be Luke.
Oh, jeez, if you want, yeah, go for it.
Hey!
Oh, can I be Mrs. Dudley? I've told you
Hey,
when I want
don't break that.
Mrs. Dudley.
Yeah, I'll be Mrs. Dudley.
That's worth $13.
Okay, sell it and put it in a nightclub.
Gotta break it up, sell it for pots.
Turn it into a nightclub.
Hey, Doc.
God, he was repulsive, wasn't he?
I don't know if I'd say he was repulsive.
Just boring.
In fact, I sort of enjoyed the relief that came with him being on screen. It was like, oh, the crazy guy's here. What's he going to say next? But it
But
really
you know
did
what he's going
kill
to say.
everything that was good
He's
about
gonna
it.
say, hey!
What's the matter, sweet cheeks?
Are they male or female ghosts?
Just asking, Doc. Oh, he wasn't the best, was he?
No.
He did make them all martinis, though.
He did make them all martinis.
He did
He was
make them all
clearly an
martinis.
alcoholic. Can we
Yeah.
talk about that? But
Yeah.
Oh, he drank. Yeah, he came down in the middle
just
of the night
drank
just 'cause
straight from a bottle of whiskey.
He said, "Oh, I needed a drink."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Of course he did.
And that's why it all went
Not
wrong,
that there's
wasn't
anything
it?
wrong with being an alcoholic, I should say.
That was when Mrs. Marquis...
Well,
maybe
it's not
she-
good to be an alcoholic, right?
It's not good, but it's not immoral.
Yeah. Okay.
I didn't mean to sound so shocked and scandalised.
Judgmental.
Yeah.
He drank.
No, but he should seek the help that he needs.
Human babes.
Mm.
Yeah. Yeah, but that was the catalyst, wasn't it, for it all going wrong?
Yeah.
Was him
Mhm.
going down for that drink.
It's there in his post.
He
Yeah,
was
sure.
AWOL.
Mm.
Absent without liquor. Hey! I just thought of that there.
It was very good.
Thanks.
Bit hopeless, wasn't he?
It was a bit hopeless. Also,
Um,
is it time?
Symbolism. Oh, you ruined it. What have you got for us?
Oh, nothing. I think we've already talked about everything that was
Yeah, I
symbolic
think we
about it.
covered everything.
But I like to have a separate segment over symbolism. Well, nonetheless, so let's have a think about what objects that could be symbols or
The
what, actions. Or
Padlock on the door was the padlock to her heart.
Yep.
The shaky staircase, really, she was on a shaky staircase for the whole film. Going higher and higher, but could collapse at any second.
Yep.
This is easy.
Yeah.
You should have done an English degree.
Should have done an English degree.
Well, more symbolism, woman, join us.
What about the mirror breaking? We don't even see it break. Remember? It just tumbles. She
Oh,
says the
yeah.
whole house is falling around me, and we see the mirror fall and hear it
yeah.
shatter. But we don't see it shatter.
It hasn't. Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
She was
All
scared
right,
by her
okay.
reflection, wasn't she? When she first
did get a
arrived.
huge fright by her reflection, didn't she?
It's like she's losing her sense of self.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
I think
Wow,
that's a bit
I think
contrived,
there's
to be
something in
honest.
that.
So she's. Yeah, because she's shocked by her reflection
Yeah.
when she sees it like on the wall of the house.
Yeah.
Because the house is scary. But when she says the house is falling down around her, it's like her own self falling down around her.
You know, I think there's something in that.
I think so.
Well, kind of, right? Because, I mean, if we're taking the viewpoint that, which I think we should, that all of the crazy stuff that's happening with the house is just happening with the characters, and
Yeah.
basically with Eleanor, then, yeah, sort of, in terms of imagery and stuff, it makes sense to have the house collapsing as she's collapsing. Yeah, why not?
Trees? Those are some murderous trees. Tell you that.
One particular murderous
That's
tree,
Yeah.
right?
not one tree. I would have
Oh,
cut
is
that
that
tree
true?
down.
Yeah.
Big job.
No film. Doing great.
I think the tree in the film was imbued with a sense of agency, like the house was.
You
Yeah.
think?
Yeah, it was a deranged tree. It was part of the grounds of the house, so it had the same madness, the same lust for blood.
Oof.
Is the
Or
ultimate-
did it? We don't know.
Wait.
Maybe Eleanor drove into the tree. We don't even know if something was taking the wheel of the car. She looked like she was just doing it herself,
Yeah.
driving it. So was it the
Theo
tree?
said that she drove into the tree deliberately, swerved
Yeah.
in order to hit it.
Do you mean Theo or do you mean Mrs. Markley?
Oh, maybe it was Mrs. Marquis. Yeah, who said, "Oh no, she didn't swerve out of the way of me. She was trying to hit the tree." Yeah.
Either Theo or Luke, though, did pass comment and said that she looked like she was just... No, I think it was Luke who was like, she looked like she just drove into that tree. And then maybe it was Theo, I can't really remember. He said, no, I think there was something... Or Dr. Markle even, who was like, there's something in that car with her.
Oh yeah.
Dun, dun, dun. But we don't know. We just don't know.
Good stuff.
Yeah. Any other comments?
That's all my thoughts.
I think that's all from me.
if I could read my notes, I might have some wonderful insights to share. But
I feel like you've
We're in the
shared some
dark.
wonderful insight.
Oh, thanks very much.
This
Yeah,
meeting.
yeah. You changed my opinion
Mm.
between you.
great.
Well done.
Should we
Guess so?
go into the light now?
Yeah.
Because we're sitting in the dark. Not should we kill ourselves and go into the light?
Good, I'm glad you didn't mean that. Right.
A little bit worrying that you had to clear that up.
Yeah.
That
Well,
was-
you never know. We are very high up, and this is the tower that she threw herself off of.
oh my
Mm.
god, don't.
Sorry, I've just got to find the.
Do you not have that bookmarked?
No! I find it every time. Can't believe we're
So we're in a university building. Should we be like yelling Arriva and all that? So, I guess no one's here, are they?
someone downstairs, that's going to be their paranormal story. Just distantly heard people shouting at me. Also, that's not Jesus. I thought that was Jesus.
That thing there.
No, I thought it was an nativity scene.
Olé! Arriva! Claire, would you like to draw the piece of paper off the table?
It says Eleanor.
Oh my god!
Michael, would you care to choose next session's film?
Yes, anybody who was paying attention to WhatsApp over the last couple of weeks will already have had this spoiled for them. But I'm going to pick Fiddler on the Roof.
Yeah.
Ugh.